Beach.
What are you then?
Big beach.
A little beach? Tall beach? Skinny beach?
Fat beach.
Morning, Stephanie.
Morning.
Cup of coffee. Very hot cup of coffee. Not a single piss weak cup of tea in sight today. Just cheap coffee.
No, I'm a big boy today.
You're a big boy.
My coffee pants on.
Unlike our duvet, which is currently coverless because the other day I knocked a drink all over it. Less said about that, the better.
Yes.
So good morning, everyone. We are back in Germany. When we last left you, I think it was on the ship over from Sweden to Germany. We had a nice trip, had a lovely stay in our little cabin. That felt very posh for a while. It wasn't posh at all, but it was just nice to have something like that for a long trip. Ever since then, we've just done some really boring stuff, actually. We've had to get a German SIM card. That wasn't so much of a mission, but we did have to pay a lot of money. Just going to put it out there. We went with Vodafone because that's who we're with, and there happened to be a shop around the corner from where we were parked, and we wanted unlimited data. So what we ended up paying, bear in mind we're sharing it, and it's for 30 days, or 28 days, it works out as £94. Now, I want to know, were we ripped off? Or is that quite normal? We were kind of looking, and Germany seems a hell of a lot more expensive for things like SIM cards than it does when we last went abroad, which was in Spain. Maybe there was cheaper, but we know Vodafone, so I guess there was some element of that as well. But unlimited data was the important thing. So yeah, I'm interested to see what other people have had if they've been to Germany and if they've had better deals for unlimited data.
£27 of that was the activation fee, which is absolute nonsense.
Yeah, that is nonsense. I'm not sure what that's about. The other thing is, well, we've just done some shopping, just bits and bobs. We have discovered German bakeries, which we were told were better than back home, which isn't hard, to be fair, but that we were also told that they were possibly better than France's and Spain's. Didn't think we'd believe that, but looking at them, actually, I can see they'd be a good rival. They looked absolutely amazing. We had a couple of things. Stephen wasn't too impressed with his, of course. I'll put a picture down there if I did record it, I can't remember. Whereas I had one of their famous things, was it the bee sting cake? I won't pronounce it in German, which was pretty nice, very, very nice. And today we are going to go exploring something that you may not think of when you think of Germany. I don't know what people think of when you think of Germany because we've never been. But if you were to ask an everyday person, or maybe someone that's never been, you might just think, I don't know what, like sausages, Christmas markets, castles, beer festivals. I don't know, I'm just thinking of anything like generically famous and German here.
Beer.
Yeah, I said beer.
No.
Would you necessarily think of the coastline when you think of Germany? I'm not so sure, so that's where we're going, and we'll catch up with you when we get to this very interesting spot, hopefully, which is also a national park.
Aye.
Well, let's drink our coffee and wake up.
Aye.
So we'll see you in about 4 hours.
Bye.
So we've arrived just up the road, and we're in a place called the Jasmund, I think I've said that right, National Park. And it is on the north coastline of Germany. I think it's one of the most northerly tips. I'm not saying it's the most northerly, but it's got to be up there. And to get here, you kind of had to drive across, like, it's almost like a series of islands, almost. And you had to go across a big bridge, which wasn't a toll bridge, surprisingly enough, because it was quite big. Yeah, so this is known for its huge beech forests. When I say beech, I mean beech trees, and some very prominent white cliffs, including one which I won't pronounce that is very famous around here for standing up and sticking out quite a lot. I'm not sure how much of this place I'm not sure how much of this place we're going to see today, but we're going to get around to it, and yeah, we'll show you, bring you along, and hopefully it'll be very lovely and pretty, and you get to see some of the German coastline, which I feel like is not a thing people show off in Germany so much as the other stuff. So yeah, let's kick off our tour of Germany with a walk around some cliffs and beaches and stuff. So I don't know if you can hear any of this because we're right by the waves, but we've just sat down on a beach in Germany with all these beautiful cliffs, beautiful water on the Baltic Sea, and we're going to have some lunch. Who'd have thought that one of the first things we'd be doing in Germany was sitting on a beach eating a roll? Well, I'm not complaining, are you?
No, well, apart from the fact that I just want to eat.
Yeah, we're hungry and it's a bit cold, but other than that, it's all lovely. How beautiful is this? This was not what we expected at all. Obviously the cliffs are very similar to what we might see at home, like the Seven Sisters or the White Cliffs of Dover, but it's very, very pretty. And the fact you've got all those beech trees, like a whole beech forest going right up to it, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Hey, I'm going to eat, let's go. So the beech trees here, the beech forests, are absolutely everywhere. They stretch for miles all along the coast and inland. Do we want some little facts about beech trees, Steve?
Go on then.
Little beech tree facts. You're going to get them anyway, if I can remember. So Germany has the most different types of beech tree forests in all of Europe. So by that I'm assuming they mean like this one is a coastal one, it's on chalk cliffs. Other ones are kind of like higher up, others are lower down. I don't really know what else to say on that front. This is going well. And beech trees actually inspired lots of our medieval cathedrals because of the way, if you notice with beech trees, the trunks just shoot up right to the top without any branches pretty much until you get to the canopy. So that kind of straight line upwards, and then the light that's captured underneath the leaves is what inspired lots of people to create the cathedrals of medieval times, to create that kind of high ceiling and capturing a sort of essence of light, if you like. I hope I'm explaining that kind of all right.
Sounds right to me.
And this is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's not just this area, it kind of encompasses so many different beech forests across Europe. They're all under one UNESCO World Heritage Site banner, if you like, that helps protect these ancient beech tree forests. So I guess that makes it one of the largest UNESCO sites. I mean, I don't know enough about it to say that's definite, but that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Aye.
I don't know, I'll look it up.
Shut up, you
I'll tell you what, just Google it.
So what you're saying in a nutshell then is that Europe is full of beaches.
Yeah, there's a lot of beaches here.
It's less beachy than it used to be.
A lot less
But
beaches.
it's still pretty beachy.
Yeah, I think there's still quite a lot of beaches. Massive beaches everywhere.
Beach.
What are you then?
Big beach.
A little beach? Tall beach? Skinny beach?
Fat beach.
So we've come into town. There's not a great deal here, is there? Sort of feels kind of like a town, a little bit almost in transition, maybe a little bit forgotten seaside town, some developing stuff going on.
Maybe something that's a bit kind of over tourist and we're not quite in season yet.
Yeah, very isolated, I suppose, at this kind of tip of Germany, this island part. Anyway, Stephen's got an ice cream. How much, Stevie?
€1.50.
So what's that? Just over a pound?
£1.30.
£1.30? That's pretty good, isn't it? I know it's small, but that's really good. That would be a lot more back home. Yeah. So I've noticed since we got here, not just in this town, but a couple of towns, they seem to really like their kind of like fish roll type of things. And that is music to my ears because you don't see that often back home. So we just found a fishmonger's just down the road, and at the side they had all these different breaded rolls with different types of fish in. I have no idea what I've just ordered. I had to take a picture and kind of just point to it. Let's have a look. It's only like a little snacky thing. So it's just a little roll. They had all these different things, and I don't know which type of fish it is because our translate wasn't working. We've got no signal. So I'll Google it in a minute. But it looked very nice. Good.
What is it?
I don't know. Right, fast forward a couple of hours, we've been to the supermarket, stocked up, and we found a little place to park. Stephen's getting the solar panel out. It's been a while, so we can charge our battery pack up. All looking good. It's been very sunny. The only thing is, it's about 7 o'clock in the evening, so I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to use this for. But anything's better than nothing. Or something's better than nothing. I always feel a bit conspicuous doing this in places that aren't campsites or designated campervan spots. But it's the sort of thing that if anyone's got an issue, which I don't think they will have because it's kind of harmless, it's not like we've got the deck chairs out, but if they have got an issue, we can quickly move it and put it on the roof or the windscreen or put it away. And actually, we've come to this little car park and there is no one else around right now. So we should be all right. And I'm sure the keen-eyed among you have noticed that after all these months, years even, we've still got these like indentations where the old stickers used to be. So if you watched our first few videos, which were kind of like a, I don't know how to say it really, they were like a catch-up thing, they took place over a longer period of time, these actually featured, and then eventually we did remove them, and I'm not sure we even did a video explaining that, but these are still here, and we've done nothing since to paint these doors, so I look forward to showing you in a year's time when it looks exactly the same.
Tiny balls.
So one very lovely and incredibly dangerous thing about being in Germany and the supermarkets is seeing all the different types of treats and chocolates and things, and we keep buying them. And what's this one, Stephen?
Well, they're tiny balls with peanuts around them and probably caramel in the middle. Oh my god.
Good?
Mmm. It's like a Ferrero Rocher on heat.
Mmm.
Mmm. I'll be eating all of them.
So these are the little peanut butter balls. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Somehow that is like a superior Ferrero Rocher. Well, perhaps equal to. Because Ferrero Rocher are pretty good. Got our cheap beers from the supermarket. Ching.
How much were they, Dan?
These were, I don't know, I can't remember.
69 cents.
69 cents. So is that about 50p a can?
55p, something like that.
Not going to argue with that.
9.
Not going to argue with that even when it's warm.
Aye.
So we left Sassnitz, if that's how you pronounce it. Few things on that. The national park area there was gorgeous. Hopefully we've showcased that, but that was really beautiful. The town itself was a bit of a mishmash. We kind of felt like it was a little bit tourist trap, but also felt like somewhere that possibly struggled because it is so far out the way, that whole area of Germany. And I imagine things really struggle there out of season. There were some bits that looked a bit run down, other things were developing, but then on one side of town you had these really ornate kind of classic looking buildings. I don't really know architecture, so I can't tell you the style, but they just looked like something from another time. They were really elaborate, and it was gorgeous. There was like an old town bit with cobbled streets and things like that, so that was nice, and that theme seemed to run through it. But yeah, there were some restaurants down the front, and it was kind of like they looked a bit overpriced compared to some of the stuff we've seen in Germany because it was on the seafront, but equally, yeah, it just seemed like a place that probably struggled for tourism and things outside of the season. So yeah, that was Sassnitz.
And with that, You're not allowed to speak anymore.
No.
You've got work to do.
Work to do. I've been told. I've been sat in my place.
Yeah.
So at least I've got some beer, so I'm happy.
That's it. You're out of words.
No,
bye.
no, I'm not out of
bye.
words. We will carry on, and I'm gonna put some more of these videos together, or one of the videos which is due out like the day after tomorrow. So I don't know if this is even going to happen. And we'll have a little nice evening. But the weather here has been glorious since we've arrived in Germany. In fact, pretty much since Eurovision, it has been wonderful, hasn't it? So I don't know what it's like back home in the UK, and by the time you watch this, the dates won't be aligned. This is, what is it now?
It's Friday.
It's mid-May, isn't
17th.
17th of May. So all date fans out there, I know who you are. It's the 17th of May, 2024. That wasn't me being sarcastic, by the way, but I'm, trying to put it in there. If you want to know where we are in time, I might start writing it on the screen. Just waffling now.
Yeah.
Just waffling. We're going to have our beer. But yeah, Sassnitz. Another thing, just very, very quickly, that northern part of Germany, if you like your kind of free airs and free spaces, it's not so great. There are some options, and I'd still say it's probably better than many parts of the UK, but it's not as good as many other areas of Germany, or that we've been led to believe, certainly from just looking around. Yeah. But definitely worth visiting the Jasmund National Park. It's worth going up there for that bit. It's kind of like Germany's own seaside resort areas. I'm sure they've got other bits on the Baltic Sea as well. Yeah, definitely go up there if you want to see something different from Germany, but just be aware that for kind of like free wild camping, it's not so brilliant, and free airs don't really exist there. But you can stay overnight in many places. It's just some of them are a bit costly. I'm just going to stop.
I know.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Morning. So we had a lovely little stay at the place we stayed at last night by the lake. Very, very peaceful. We were completely on our own, and today we are on a bit of a mission to do chores and things like that. We've got to go shopping, which is always terribly exciting. So we're off to find a Lidl, and we're going to go and stay on a little campsite not far from here because we need a wash. We need to do some other bits. We need to empty the tank, etc, etc. So we're going to find a little campsite. Everything's quite expensive this side of Germany, although I would argue it's still considerably cheaper than the UK, but we have found a little rural campsite that seems cheaper than the rest, and it's got very good reviews, so let's see what this is like. And it's yet another day where the temperatures are in the 20s, so how lovely is this? The sun's out, absolutely gorgeous. I had a little run around the lake this morning. I've really suffered for it. I felt like I was in an oven afterwards, but God, isn't it nice to see the sun constantly? I'm sure we'll be moaning about it in due course, but it's really nice to see right now. So good morning, we've woken up in a field and it has been absolutely lovely, really peaceful. We found a little campsite not far from wherever we left the other day. I can't even remember where that is now. And it's just one big field. It's €10 a night, and you're just completely surrounded by nature. But there is a toilet, there is a shower. I don't think there's waste facilities, and you can even have electric hookup in that price if you park up in the farm. So it's a farm, what we're on. But if you want to be down on the field here, which is a bit more peaceful and isolated, you can't have the electric hookup. And we decided to opt for that because yesterday, unlike today, it was really, really sunny, so we could get the solar panel out and charge the battery pack. Wasn't 100% successful, but we at least got something out of it. Hardly anyone here. There's a huge field and you can park anywhere you like. We've got one neighbour, and there was someone else here last night, and there was wildlife everywhere. There were deer leaping about, there was a fox, there was giant storks kind of wandering on the field. Absolutely glorious. And I think it's not often we get to kind of stay on places like this. Usually because it means driving down something that's not ideal for the van. We try and avoid that kind of stuff if we can. And you do have to come down a dirt track, but it's not too bad. It's just a fraction away from the farm. So yeah, for €10 a night, cannot complain at all. And if you decide to stay on the farm at the top, obviously it's not as scenic with the electric, that's really good value. And the guy was so friendly. He wasn't even here, he's away at a wedding, and we just had to ring up and sort of say we're here, how do we pay? And he was just kind of like, just leave the money in a box. And it's like, wow, how trusting is that? It's so nice. Yeah, this has been beautiful. Apart from the mosquitoes, we are kind of really bitten a lot, which has been awful. And you can imagine Stephen has absolutely loved that. But right now we're going to drive back up to the farm bit. We're going to grab a shower, park up there quickly, shower, and then we're going to head on somewhere into deeper Germany. I don't even know where we're going, so we're going to figure that out in a minute. So we'll see you at the next location. So Stephen's just covered his body up because he didn't like it on display. Go on, show it off, Steve. Everybody likes a bit of that.
I just don't want everybody getting too excited.
Well, that's true, actually. It'll be too much to take.
You know, if people started sending me money because of my body, I'd be really upset.
Want to see mine? I mean, I'll do it for
I
a
ain't
fiver.
paying.
Somebody might want to see mine for a fiver. I'll do it.
Not
50p
me.
even. No, you get it for free, whether you like it or not.
Pay to put it away.
Wonderful. So we're in a little free air, which is absolutely wonderful. The only thing is you pay for the electric, but the electric is, what is it? You're bald now. He's just
€2.
€2 for I don't know how long, but that's pretty damn good. The air itself is free. You're all spaced out. There's loads of room for campers. It's wonderful. And we're now in the Anhalt region of Germany. It's kind of like just sort of west of Berlin, sort of centralish Germany, not quite. I don't know how to explain it. And we're going to spend a little bit of time exploring here, and that's it. Bye.
Juice.
Juice. Good afternoon. It is absolutely sweltering. It feels like the middle of summer. We didn't move on today. We are still in our lovely little air in Germany in the Anhalt region. And we are in a town, very tiny town called Seehausen, I think. There's not much here, but it looks quite pretty in some places. And we've just decided to kind of sit around today because there's everything on the air that we need. We've got the electric. It did run out in the night, but to be fair, we did use it to charge our battery pack, didn't we? Yeah, it only lasts a few hours, all runs out when you've used the capacity. But we did have a couple of things going on, so we put another €2 in, and that should keep us going. I think that's a pretty good system.
Aye.
You've got all your disposal there and everything.
Yeah.
But the reason we didn't move on is because we've realised today it's a German bank holiday Monday, so absolutely everything is shut, and they really do shut everything on a Sunday, and it seems like the bank holiday Monday is exactly the same. So we kind of decided, well, there's no point moving.
No.
We were going to go and explore a town today, but if there's nothing open, that seems a little bit pointless.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be nice to look around empty streets in many ways.
Just seems like a lot of hassle
Yeah.
for nothing, so we'll just sit and do nothing for a day.
So we're gonna, sit and do nothing, and we're gonna wander around the area around Seehausen. There seems to be some little nature trails, which is nice. So we're just wandering in the countryside, nothing too spectacular, but in this heat it feels quite lovely, if a little bit too humid. And then we'll have a look around the empty town while it's all closed up.
Aye.
And that's it.
There are bloody mosquitoes everywhere.
Yeah, we've been bitten a lot the last few days.
It's driving me crackers.
So we're back to that, now we're back in Europe.
Yeah, well, I've got to complain about something, so it might as well be them.
Of course you have. There's no hills coming up though, that's good.
Aye.
So we're going to wander and see what's around us. I'm not saying it's going to be particularly exciting, we're not even sure we're going to film it, but that's where we're at today.
Aye.
We'll see you, I don't know, we'll see you. We'll see you when we see you.
We might.
We might not. Might just stop the channel there.
Yeah, we might just quit.
Just end it on that.
Yep, bye.
See you later. So what have you got, Stephen?
Spaghetti ice cream.
There was only one thing open in town, and it was an ice cream shop, funnily enough. And it's a thing that's quite popular here, this spaghetti ice cream. Which
I remember when I was a kid, for some reason.
Really? I've never seen it, I don't think. But it's very popular here, and obviously it's not spaghetti, but they just make the ice cream spaghetti shaped, right? Anyway, how lovely. You've got a black cherry, is it? Ice cream. I really didn't fancy eating one of those, so I'll just steal a bit of Stephen's, which I'm sure he'll love and approve. So we're back at the van. Stephen's just elbowing me in the head because that's what happens here. This is what goes on behind closed doors. And we just had a look around the little town of Seehausen, and it was really pretty. There's lots of abandoned buildings. We've noticed that quite a lot in Germany. There's lots of these really pretty kind of timber frame buildings that seem to have just been left to nothing. And there was quite a few of those in this town. But generally just a nice little town to walk around, isn't it? Nothing much to report on, but just a bit different to what we're used to seeing. Yeah, we're back at the van. It's hot. There seems to be a thunderstorm coming, and we're just going to return to our little state of can't be botheredness. No.
Return?
Well, yeah, well, we walked. We kind of got out for a bit, but now we're back at the van. And then cook dinner and think about where we're going to go for the rest of the week. That's all I have to say.
I'm just going to sit here and look at my phone and do nothing.
Yeah, that's probably mostly what I'm going to do. Might read. This is a beautiful air. Like, there's so many spaces, and with the electric, I think we said all this anyway, but like there's so many, the pitches, you've got your own little grass space, there's room to get your chairs out. It is absolutely wonderful. Like, it feels like you can't believe these exist. And they do, you know, there's quite a lot of these things around. So how lovely to experience that again. I know we said that before, but yeah. Well, we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Oh, but since we didn't ask, how was your ice cream, Stephen, and how much did it cost?
It was €8, which I know is shocking.
It's shocking.
But it had black cherries on it, and I was seduced. But they put the cream on the bottom and then put the ice cream on top of that, and then the cherries on top of that, which makes no sense to me. To me, it's ice cream, cream, cherries. But they probably did that to make it look like there was more in it, because, you know, that's what happens. It was a bit too sour, really. It needed some chocolate sauce. So, overall, yeah.
It was a classic disappointment.
I was also seduced by spaghetti ice cream, because I can remember it, but I haven't had it for a long time. But it all just melds into one anyway, so all pointless, won't be doing that again.
Yeah, so this spaghetti ice cream that is popular everywhere here, well, once you put it into a cone or a pot, it all just gets mashed into normal ice cream anyway, so I'm not really sure it actually has that effect. But clearly people love it. Ice cream
for a potato.
Yeah, but once it's in something, it's all squashed together as normal ice cream anyway, isn't it? So it's a bit pointless.
It is.
But I did cave in, and I went in and got myself a little pot. I didn't want one of those ones. And it was €1.50 for a little pot, but a decent size scoop of ice cream, because there was a flavour there. It was Advocat, so I assumed that was like the alcoholic drink, and it kind of more tasted like rum and raisin mixed with like washing up liquid.
It just tastes like soap powder.
Yeah, it did. But never mind. However, for €1.50, the size of the scoop was probably about half of the amount of ice cream you had, and you'd paid €8. And I know you got cream and cherries, but come on, like, that was highly elevated in price, wasn't it? You'd probably be better off buying like 3 separate scoops.
I won't be doing that again.
Well, we won't, because we'll be leaving. Until the next town, until the next time we're seduced, or you're seduced by ice cream.
Aye.
Moving on. Look at the absolute state of this. I'd say this is unusual, but it's not. So I'm going to attempt to cook while all that's on the side. I could probably move some of it, but I've just pushed it over for now. And we're going to do a chicken curry tonight. I'm not going to film it, but we'll let you know how it goes later. And one thing we've really loved about Germany so far, this isn't the best example, but it's kind of one of them, is all the different kind of, like, they love everything with dill in it. So the herb dill, it seems to be in so many different things. And there's so many different types of, like, coleslaws and potato salads and pickly type things. So we're kind of working our way through as many as possible. We always buy a couple every time we go to the supermarket, use them up, and then get some new ones. This was just carrot, but it was kind of like a pickled carrot again. Really, really nice shredded carrot. So yeah, very nice to try different foods. Morning. I just kind of realised we're still in the little town of Seehausen, and we never did say how the chicken curry went last night. I'm sure you're all dying to know. It was completely fine. And I used a jar of tomato and basil pasta sauce that had been sitting in the cupboard, and you know what? It worked a treat, didn't it?
Yeah, just instead of a tin of tomatoes.
Yeah. You know, you wouldn't think basil in a curry, but to be fair, obviously it got mixed in with all other spices and stuff. So yes, the chicken curry was absolutely fine. Anyway, we're now having a little wander into town before we leave, because what's for breakfast, Stephen?
Baked goods.
Baked goods. It's got to be done. Got to be done.
No.
So let's see what we can find. So here's the baked goods, the tasty bad breakfast treats. It wasn't a huge selection in that bakery because it's quite a small town, but there was enough there.
That looks like jam and custard sponge, what you've got. This wellness and kuchen.
Okay, so the kuchen is cake, but mine was called wellness. This one here, wellness kuchen. I googled it and it didn't really bring anything up that I could particularly what's the word? Translate, yeah, I couldn't actually figure out what it was. Whereas yours is very clearly rhubarb, is what it said. So a rhubarb cake of sorts. Anyway, let's tuck in and see. So Stephen's got the rhubarb cake. I have to say that Stephen always seems to pick the most British looking thing anytime we go in a bakery anywhere. That looks really British to me, like a rhubarb crumble.
That's what it is.
Well, yeah, that's what it looked like. What were you expecting? You're not fussed.
It needs a bit of jam around for it.
But it didn't look like it had jam, so why did you pick it?
Because I like rhubarb. It's alright. Whatever. Are you ready for your wellness?
I'm ready for my wellness. It looks like it's really good for me, the wellness cake. This is bad being here.
Yeah, twice since we've been here you've had cake for breakfast.
Yeah, and I've kind of made it a mission now that we're going to try as much as possible while we're here, because all of it, just so much of it just looks so bloody delicious. Anyway, yeah, it looks like jam on a sponge with some custardy stuff. It's okay, but so far the bee sting cake is still the best.
Aye.
Not bad though.
Right, let's finish these so we can get cracking.
Trouble is, when you decide on something really bad and indulgent for breakfast, if it's not really amazing, that's like a waste of calories, isn't it? Like you've had something bad for no good reason. Yeah. But this is still pretty good. I'll let Stephen try a bit in a minute, maybe. I think he'll like this one. Anyway, let's eat and crack on.
Aye.
Well, with that, after our little cakes for breakfast,
aye,
which is probably going to be some kind of semi-regular thing now, we'll end up coming back like 25 stone or something. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. We're on holiday, why not? So yeah, with that we're going to end the video, I think. I'm sorry we didn't show you much towards the end. We kind of it kind of just petered out. Sometimes things don't work out exactly, and we've spent the last few days not very much at all, really, just sort of pottering about from place to place. So we thought we'd just end it here because we are going somewhere entirely different now. Really looking forward to this. We've got a bit of a drive. We're going sort of into the heart of Germany and somewhere a little bit higher up than where we are now.
Aye. So with that, we're going to say goodbye. We'll see you next week. So please push your subscribe, like,
ding ding,
buttons, notification belly thing.
Yeah, so you're updated apparently.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.